Joining us now is Chris Cabrera. He's a Border Patrol agent, vice president of Local 3307, union that represents agents in the Rio Grande Valley and sector in South Texas. I was in Shiner, Texas. I was in Yoakum. I was in Huntsville. And I was in Houston over Thanksgiving. On Thanksgiving Day, we took 2 flights on Ed Hendy's plane. Remember Ed Hendy crashed his plane last spring? I wasn't afraid. He's a great pilot. But he got a new plane, so we flew down to Huntsville to Thanksgiving dinner with friends down there. Then we flew to Yoakum. And I've been here. I get my ear chewed off by all of these Border Patrol agents who saw me that I was going to be in Texas, emailing me, all friends of mine, saying, don't believe what you're hearing about the level of illegal immigration going down. It's going up. So I'm so glad Chris Cabrera is with us now. Chris, how are you? Did you feel my presence in Texas over the weekend?
I did.
And a lot of your friends, the Hendys and other friends of mine were we were having a great time. But this issue of immigration, illegal immigration, was coming up at all of our gatherings. And what can you report to us now, given the presidential election, the economy, what's happening at the border as we speak?
Well, it seems that, it doesn't seem, it's actually happening. We are unseasonably getting more than we've ever gotten this time of the year. Usually this time of the year it slows down and drops off to a trickle, but we're still very busy down here. People are coming in faster than we can keep track of, people turning themselves in, and people still getting away.
So, Chris, tell me what happens. Someone crosses the Rio Grande. They get onto U.S. soil, and are they evading Border Patrol or running to Border Patrol?
Well, there's 2 types. There's some people that are trying to get away, usually those with some type of criminal history or reason for not wanting to get caught. And then the others are the people that are coming that are going to claim some type of credible fear or asylum. So they seek out the Border Patrol, and they come in large numbers, 40, 50, 60, 70 at a time, just looking to turn themselves in.
And I know there's a civil rights review of one of the detention centers down there in southern Texas where there, as of last spring, there were 1,600 illegal immigrant family units. They're calling it the residential center down there, and they're claiming that these centers are violating people's civil rights. What's the sense on that?
Well, I don't see it. I don't know what they're coming at as far as legally what their basis for it is. It just seems that they're attacking these loopholes and they're exploiting them, and then they're doing a good job because people are coming in and they're getting walked out the door that same day. Sometimes with an ankle bracelet, sometimes not, and they head off to whatever part of the country they desire, and we'll never see them again.
Tell me about the demographics of those who are smuggling across the border, either human trafficking across the border, or the coyotes, or the drugs. Any changes in the demographic makeup of the groups crossing?
Well, last year we saw a lot of women traveling with children. This year it seems to be more men traveling with the children. You can't really be too certain who is related to who, and we're going off the honor system. And the scary thing is it's a smuggler's paradise as far as sex trafficking goes, because these kids can't defend themselves. They can't take care of themselves. And if somebody, whether it's on our side of the river or the Mexican side, if somebody wants to do harm to one of these kids, there's really no way for them to protect themselves.
This is a side note, Chris, but I was at a grocery store in Yoakum on Friday, I guess it was Friday morning. You know how you just get a feeling? You get a feeling about something, and it just sticks in your craw. There was a man and a little boy in a supermarket, and the little boy seemed to be Latino. He was so cute. He maybe was 6.5, 7, maybe 7. So cute, little jeans and a sweatshirt, and The man was African American and he had a couple earrings. Who cares? Whatever. The boy looked traumatized to me. It was, and I said to my friend I was with, I said, does something seem wrong about that? She said, yes, it does. It doesn't. And it wasn't nothing to do with skin color or any of that. The boy was not saying anything. He was right behind the cart. And he looked at me and I looked at him and I kind of waved. And he waved really quickly, but then he looked away and he kind of half smiled at me. But it just seemed like something was wrong. So I wrote down the license plate. And we're actually checking the plates out with friends of ours and law enforcement. Something just didn't seem right about it. It's like you sense that something's wrong. It didn't seem like a father, son, or a relative. It seemed like something was wrong in this. He didn't say a word. He was just pulling things off the shelves, the man, the adult male. And the boy just sat there silent and just pushed the cart behind him. That's not a normal behavior for a little boy. See, something seemed wrong. So when you see these things across the border, I bet there are a lot of agents who see things that don't seem right, but they feel like they can't say anything. Because
you're right, and they do. But there's really no way of proving it. And unfortunately, the way the system is set up, there's not too much we can do in the means of stopping it. And we've gotten so overwhelmed. It's just somebody needs to put a stop to it because it's a dangerous game.
So when you rank the threats to America, the problems with this crush at the border right now, would it be national security, economic security, health issues that people have, criminality, or all of the above?
I would say all of the above. National security obviously is paramount. And with what we see coming in, our capture rate, which is very low, it's a very porous border, and it's hard for us to protect this entire stretch. And we're getting overrun by people exploiting this loophole. So many other people are coming around the backside that we're not even going to encounter. And then you have the health issue, like you said. These people aren't getting the proper screenings, and anything can come in. Any type of disease can come in with whoever. It's a recipe for disaster.
The morale of the Border Patrol. Tell us about that.
Well, our agents do a great job with what they have and the support they have, but it's very difficult to keep your chin up, knowing that you're doing everything you can to do your job, but at the end of the day, we're releasing people, and it's very it's a morale crusher.
A friend of mine, I think I have to check with him before I name who he is, but this was on Friday. He came to dinner at our friend's ranch, and he was a former Border Patrol and was, sent to prison. Actually, I don't have to say who he is. Gary Brugman, who you might know who he is, was sent to prison because he put his heel on a illegal immigrant who crossed the border, and he was found guilty of depriving the illegal immigrant of his civil rights. Gary was an exemplary Border Patrol official, did 2 years in prison because he put his foot on an illegal immigrant to stop him from getting up. A prison. The man has to work 82 hours a week as a truck driver now because he can't get a job in law enforcement, which is his passion, is law enforcement. He's an amazing guy, just a phenomenal person. It's a mess. And he said he still talks to a lot of Border Patrol people, and he said, Laura, the stories they tell me about people just coming in, they're laughing because they know they know once they're here, they're not going anywhere. They're not being deported, maybe unless they're a violent criminal past. And the Border Patrol, they're doing the best they can, but he said they're not able to really do their jobs because of the crush of people. Is that an accurate assessment?
Well, I think it's not just the amount of people, but I think it goes higher than that. With there's no political willpower to let us do our job. It's more Border Patrol. They're using us as a window dressing, but they're not really letting us go out there and enforce the laws that are on the books and do what needs to be done. And it's a shame that our commissioner is letting the administration get away with just using us a window dressing and not as an enforcement, a viable enforcement tool.
How are you allowed to come out and speak? How have they not come down on you like a ton of bricks?
Well, I do have a little bit of coverage under the union. I do get called in quite a bit, though. I do get called into internal affairs quite a bit to answer for it. But I think as long as I had to have my fact checking correct, I should be okay.
Well, I can tell you this, Chris, more than anyone else, I think in this field of Border Patrol, you have pulled the curtain back for the American people, and I salute you for having the courage to do that. I know many others want to speak out but are afraid to speak out, and you have a lot of courage. And you know, people like myself, I mean, we're not anti-immigrant. It's not no animus toward people of any other ethnic background. It's security, it's health security, it's economic security, and it is the rule of law that is paramount. And that's our concern here. And I just appreciate you so much. And if we don't talk to you, I hope you have a Merry Christmas with your family. And please give everyone my best. I still have to get down to the actual border, which I have not done. It's terrible. I've got to do that. But will you say hi to everyone for us and keep us, keep us informed if anything else happens that we should know about?
I will do, and whenever you decide to make it out down here, give me a call, and I'll be happy to show you around.
Then you'll really start seeing that border enforced, Chris. I'm just kidding. Hey, thanks a lot. Chris Cabrera from the Border Patrol. We'll take a break on the Laura Ingraham Show, close out this hour. Thanks for listening to this podcast excerpt of The Laura Ingraham Show. If you'd like to receive podcasts of our complete shows, go to lauraingraham.com and sign up to become a member of Laura 365. Our Laura 365 members get commercial-free streams and podcasts of our shows every day we're on the air. And also, you can listen to the last 30 days of The Laura Ingraham Show. Be ahead of the curve. Join Laura 365.